What's up, YouTube? You know what it is. It's your boy Big Will. We're back with another episode of Life After Prison TV. So we got this new show on Netflix here. It's in the top 10 shows right now on Netflix, right? And we got in Pulaski County, Arkansas. Sheriff Erik Higgins is trying to start a new program. Let's see what they say here, man.
Now with the storm swirling around the most popular show on Netflix. It's called Unlocked, a jail experiment. And it takes cameras inside an Arkansas detention facility where the inmates are given unprecedented freedom, sparking controversy. Steve Osensami has more on that story. Steve, good morning.
Good morning.
So you know in most jails, right? Once you get into prison, the schedules change and stuff, but most jails are 23 hours in one. Shout out to Death from 23 in 1 lockdown, right? Or lockdown 23 in 1. But most jails are 23 in 1, you know, 22 and 2. You know, you get an hour out in the morning, or it's 22 and a half and a 1.5 out. You get a 45-minute rec at night and a half hour in the morning, or vice versa. It changes, you know. And in that time out in your rec, you gotta navigate, you know. You get an hour out in the afternoon. Some places you get a morning rec and a night rec, right? So a lot of places you get 2 recs. So it ends up being a top tier and a bottom tier in a unit, right? So what they'll do is we'll call it, for instance, the bottom rec will come out so they get up and have chow at 6 a.m., 6:30, 7 a.m. right after they do shift change, shit like that. So guards come in on at 7 a.m., they switch changes, they switch shifts. You go to rec, you go to breakfast, okay? Everybody comes back from breakfast. You only get a 20-minute chow. You know, you get, you know, it ends up being 20-25 minutes altogether because they give you a few minutes to walk to the chow hall. Some units you eating in the unit, depending on the unit, you know. But you get to walk to the chow hall. You get a 10-15 minute time to eat. That's it. That's all they give you. 10 or 15 minutes. 10 or 15 minutes to eat. And you get your little 2 or 3 minutes to walk back to the unit. And then you're locked down, right? They'll do a count, make sure everybody's back in the unit. Then they'll call morning rec. Morning rec will come out bottom tier. They'll come out on Monday, let's say. They'll come out in the morning for an hour, right? After they come out for an hour, they'll change. Top tier will come out for half hour, right? They'll lock down. They'll get lunch. After lunch comes, you get locked down for an hour, hour and a half. So the guards can have their lunch. Now you're coming back. They'll come back. So if the morning rec came out at 7 o'clock on the bottom tier, right? Then like they say, 8 o'clock, top tier will come out for a half hour, 45 minutes. Then they'll go through the lunch and all that shit, right? 3 o'clock, they come, they have lunch. Guards have their lunch, you do a shift change. In between, certain dudes are going to classes, you know, so So a lot of guys like to go to class because they get out for an hour and a half in the daytime, you know. And like I say, if you're on every day, it changes. So you might get out, a bottom tier gets out in the morning for morning rec, top tier comes out in afternoon rec. They go to shift change after 3 o'clock. The bottom tier, they'll have their afternoon rec, half hour, 45 minutes. They come in, they lock down, you go to chow, you come back, you lock down, the guards have their chow. At nighttime, at night rec, it'll be the top tier because the bottom tier came out in the morning. Tomorrow it changes. So top tier had night rec today, right? Tomorrow they have morning rec. Bottom tier has second rec, then they go to break, lunch, same thing every day, it just changes. If today you have morning rec, tomorrow you have night rec, right? But you're locked down 22 and a half hours, 21 and a half. Every jail is different, right? They usually give you an hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon, right? So every jail is different, right? But most jails are 23 and 1, right? You get 23 hours locked down, and you get 1 hour out a day. Now, that hour out is not counting your chow, or your classes like that. You know what I mean? That's your hour out to rec. But again, mind you, when you only got 1 hour out, you got to navigate the phones, and if you got 40 guys on each tier, right? It's usually 84 guys in the cell, right? 20 cells on the bottom, 20 cells on the top. They usually have a handicap cell on the side. So you're usually getting 84 guys in the unit, right? 40 on the top, 40 on the bottom. So when you got 40 guys out and you got 4 phones, you might have morning rec today. Your people are not up at 10 a.m. or they're working, right? So you can't call your girl. So you want to save it for your night rec, right? But now you want to come out, you want to take a shower because you're going outside and play basketball and all that shit. So when you get your rec, you get time to go out to the outside, play a game of basketball. You get 20 minutes, a half hour to play a game of ball. You want to come in, you want to jump in the shower. Now usually in every unit, like I say, there's a top tier and a bottom tier. There's a shower in each corner, top and bottom. You get 4 showers and you get 4 phones, right? So there's some guys that like to use a phone every day. So you got to come on, you got to navigate that, right? This sheriff here in Pulaski County, I think it's called, in Arkansas, he's trying to start a program where it's called Unlocked.
Good morning to you. With the producers got permission from the sheriff who runs the jail to bring in their cameras, but there are other county officials who work with the sheriff who feel that this was a bad decision.
Man, come on. It's a pod full of villains.
It's already hit #1 on the streaming giant Netflix, a series called Unlocked, a Jail Experiment, where in the words of Netflix, the viewers will get to see what happens when unit cells are unlocked at the Pulaski Regional Detention Facility in Little Rock, Arkansas.
No locks and no officers.
And let y'all be a community. Detainees will have 6 weeks to prove that they can act more like people and not criminals.
The series features this man, the Pulaski County Sheriff, who agreed to the experiment and allowed producers to record it all. He says, according to his lawyers, he had every right to say yes because he controls the jail.
Constitutionally, I have that control. I control who comes in the jail, who leaves the jail. I allow people to come in. I've allowed other organizations to come in and film. I don't control their film once they walk out. I may control the area that they come into.
Sheriff Erik Higgins is now being questioned by other local officials about whether allowing all of this is good for their community.
It could end
helping somebody to be free and stay free.
But the sheriff says despite the trailers for the show, it's not really true that there were no officers present, saying that they were assigned to entrances and were watching inmates on surveillance cameras around the clock.
We're moving forward in what we're doing in this facility. We are trying to create a safer facility. We are trying to give these individuals an opportunity to have a say in the safety of the facility.
The county judge and other leaders say they're taking frantic calls, asking if prisoners are running free.
What the heck? Where did this come from? It's created quite a stir. I'm hearing from folks all over the county.
Wow. Y'all in the ride for y'all life now.
The county government is now looking into the sheriff's deal with producers, demanding answers about how he approved the series and whether anyone was compensated. In his response, the sheriff explains that a $60,000 check from the production company went straight to the county and that he didn't keep it.
That's what you're looking at right now. Is that did he check all the boxes? Did he make all the phone calls? Does he have names to say, yeah, they approved this, and this is why we're doing this, to show people and to show prisoners in a different light? A lot of things send people to jail. The outside world knows nothing about the correctional system in this country.
So the only problem that I would foresee with that, right, without having no guards present in the unit, is having the camera crew walk around with cameras. You know, it could be a security risk, right? Because this guy is in here, and I'm gonna watch the series and you know, react to each episode. I've already watched the first 3, and so I live in Massachusetts, and in the Bristol County House of Corrections, we have a unit. It's called GA unit, right? And I only experienced this unit one time, and it was only for 2 days. I was there for 2 days. When I came in, I was in a fight. I got sent to the hole, and like any other time, when I got out of the hole, I was behind the wall, right? My door locked. Until I became a worker, a trustee, as they call it in some places. Once you get a trustee, you come out and you pass out the meals, and after people eat, you mop the unit, and at night before everything locks down, you mop the unit, and when the laundry goes out, you send your laundry out. It comes back in. The trustees or the workers, they pass the laundry out to each cell. But you gotta have time in, you know what I mean? You're not gonna walk in off the streets and get a job. You gotta be there a few months. You gotta be in the same unit. You know, if you're a gang banger, not a gang member, but a gang banger, and you know, you break the law on the streets, and when you come into jail, you continue to harass and fight and do all that stupid illegal shit, immature shit, you're not gonna get a job. The unit COs pick their workers, but ultimately they got to be cleared by the captain. You know, and so once you get a worker, you get more time out. You know what I mean? They give you, when everyone else is on lockdown, like when the COs are eating lunch and shit, the workers are out. They might be able to use the phone, which makes it easier for workers, because when everybody's on rec, then you don't have to fight with the phone with the other inmates. You know, you get the time when they're locked down, after you're done mopping and shit, and you do your job, after you pass out the meals or after you pass out the laundry, you get an extra 20 minutes, half hour out while everybody else is locked down. It's usually to go before everybody locks down for the night. Hey, can you get me water? You go and get hot water for everybody and pass it to them so they can make a soup or make a coffee at night. Same thing in the morning. Like I say, when there's a morning rec, one tier gets out, there might be guys up that got up for breakfast, but they're not on rec. So, you know, hey, can you get me some water? You go give them hot water, and you know, you're a tier runner or a worker or a trustee or whatever, right? So you get more time out, and it helps, right? You also get good time for being a worker. You know what I mean? It goes towards good time and shit. So when you're trustee and stuff, it makes things easier, right? In that sense. So when there's no COs in the unit, it could be problems and security problems for the camera crew, right? And I can see that will happen. Also, when there's a fight. Now, like I say, I've watched the first few episodes, and they are sitting right outside the unit, and they're watching on computers and things of that nature, you know. So when something happens, they're right there, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, like, I think a lot of people in this situation, what they're concerned about is what kind of deal did he make with the camera crews? Is he getting paid for it? What's he doing with the money that you know, he signed a deal with the production crew? You know, he said he got $60,000, and he explains where the money went, and you know, and he did a news interview, and he explained where the money went, right? But you know, people want to know, do the inmates get paid for, you know, participating in the show and shit like that, right? So when I was in GA unit, the same thing. When it's time for chow, you lock down right before chow. Now, lockdown just means that you go in the cell and you shut your door. When it comes time for count, you got to lock down in your cell, and that's after chow, that's after Rex, before COs go on lunch or you know, night break and stuff. They give a countdown. They give a count in the morning, then at rec, and then at night before they lock down. So, but you get to come out of your cell and go to the bathroom, right? Now, with the unit that I was in GA, although your door was open and you can go to the bathroom and stuff, they still had separate tier recs. You know what I'm saying? Bottom tier would be on rec, top tier would be out. Top tier would be locked down. Now again, lockdown just means that you have to be in your cell with the door closed. Even though your door is open and you can go out and go to the bathroom and come back in, you still don't have free range. Now with this show, they're letting the inmates have full reign all day long, except for when it's med time. You lock down like every, you know, so the nurses not feeling uncomfortable, you go up, people get their meds. They, you know, after meds, you come back out. Chow, right before chow, when the cops are coming, and it's because they're opening the doors to the unit. That, you know, so if everybody's out and they pop the security doors, a whole unit could go charging out, you know, and run free in the whole jail. And it's, you know, of course they'll end up riling everybody up, but it's just causes security risk, right? With that being said, when there's no chow and there's no meds, they're letting these guys have freedom from 7 in the morning until, I believe it's 10 o'clock at night here, that they get 10 o'clock at night, but it's usually 9 o'clock at night, everybody locks down. 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, they lock down. COs do their count at 10:30, 11 o'clock, they do shift change. So this program that he's doing, it's not unheard of. There are units all over the country where they're doing like gymnasiums. They make a gymnasium into a unit, and they're bunks, and it's the whole unit. You know what I mean? So you're not locked down at all. You can get up and go bunk to bunk, and every time, same thing. Before count, before chow, you have to be at your bunk. On your bunk, they do a count. But after there's no chow and no meds, and like, you can just walk around the whole unit. You know what I'm saying? And they say, oh, you know, it's gonna be cause for more fights. When you get that freedom and you're not locked down, you don't feel like you're caged and you're sitting in the cell the whole time, it takes stress and tension off of you. You know what I'm saying? You're not just sitting in a little box with a cellmate that might irritate you. The bathrooms are in your cell, so when you're not on lockdown all day long, you can go out in this unit anyways, you can go out. You know, your cellmate can be out while you're going to the bathroom. You know, shit like that. In the unit that I had, in the unit that I went into, GA, and it goes by points. You know what I'm saying? In this unit, you see that 23 hours lockdown with an hour out, right? That's how the unit eventually was, right? Originally was. That's for people that get arrested and they have high points. Could be for a murder, an armed robbery, you know, and all these guys are waiting to go on trial to see if they beat the case, if they get probation, but they're being held pending their trials, right? So when you're on a murder and you're on an armed robbery or a domestic, you go in a maximum, you know, so they got maximum, medium, minimum. So when you get a unlocked unit, they're usually mediums, you know what I mean? So maximum, you're in there 23 hours in, you get 1 hour out. Medium, you're in there, you get, you know, you might be locked down for 21 hours, you get 3 hours out, hour and a half in the daytime, hour and a half at night. You know, when you're on minimum, you're in these gymnasium units where you're not locked down, you know what I mean? You're sitting on bunks, and, you know, but like a unit like that, the freedom is good, right? But if you have a problem with somebody, you're not safe. Maybe you're not a fighter. Maybe they have access to your locker. You know, there's always thieves, you know what I'm saying, that like to go canteen stealing and shit like that. When your cell is unlocked all day, you might be outside playing basketball, and it gives free reign for someone to walk in your cell and, you know, steal. Oh, you know, I came to see if you were here. That's the excuse to use. You're not there to go in your cell and take shit. You know, it just causes problems. It's a little safer for the fact that it's hard to make a shank. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to hide it because everybody's watching, everybody's around it the whole time. But you get your little clicks. You know what I mean? You get your little clicks, and they got corners, and things get hidden, and they hide it in the mop closet, and, you know, things like that. So, but this program here, the sheriff gives these guys free reign. They're so used to 23 hours lockdown, 1 hour out, and he says he wants to start a new program where they're getting unlimited lockdown. They're out all day long.
And what it's like living every day behind the walls. Maybe someone will learn something from it.
The local NAACP and some church leaders are supporting the sheriff. They like what he's doing, saying that by allowing these prisoners to somewhat govern themselves,
Yes,
he's
and
helping
mentally it
them
helps you.
become better people when they get out. But there are other voices who ask, what happens if there's a fight? How long will it take the guards to get to where they need? Guys?
A lot of questions, a lot of opinions. Thank you so much for that, Steve.
Now with the storm swirling around.
In this program here, he's trying it where the guards are removed from the actual unit. You know what I'm saying? Which I've never been in that kind of unit where there wasn't a guard present. That way, when there's no guard present, the inmates, again, everybody's a criminal that's there. So just because you go to jail, you try not to break the rules for the simple fact that if you do, you're not going to be able to get phone calls or visits to see your people. You know what I'm saying? And that's big in jail. When you're in trouble or you go to the hole, you can't get canteen. You know, so you get no calls, you get no visits, you get no canteen. People, when you're in jail, you try not to break the rules, so you get them little perks. You know what I'm saying? If you're somebody that goes to jail and your people don't send you money, nobody answers the phone, you don't have a girl, you don't have kids at home, them are the ones that go in jail and they wild out and they're always in trouble. They got nothing to look forward to. They're not waiting on a visit. They don't have nobody to call every day. They're not looking forward to getting canteen, so they got no money on their books, you know, things like that. Them are the type of people out of trouble. Them are the type of people out to make shanks, you know. When there's not a guard present in there, that could be the other security breach, you know, like when the guard's in the unit, if there's a fight, At least when the guard's hearing a thumping and a dum 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 dum, like, you know, you hear when somebody's bouncing off a cell, they do a check. They do a walk around and do a check. If they see a couple guys fighting, they lug them out, right? When you're in open doors like this, or an open bay unit, an open dorm, you try not to get locked down. You don't want to get locked down because that's big, that freedom. You know, like I said, if you're having a bad day and instead of being locked in a cell with your cellmate every day, you can take a walk and go out. You can go out and play checkers or chess or cards, you know, with somebody else. You get to escape. But when you're locked down all day with one person, it gets to be monotonous and it gets sickening, you know. And then you get an inmate, then you get your cellmate becomes your enemy, you know. It's like living at home with your wife all day. You're fighting. It's like a relationship. They could be your best friend on one hand, but you just get sickening, and you might not like the way someone sings, or they snore, and you know, like, it takes time away. The other problem with open door bays is when you're sleeping. If someone's got a problem with you, it's free access. Once you put your head down, if you're a heavy sleeper and you sleep, that's why in jail they always tell you sleep with one eye open. And they don't mean literally keep your one eye open, but you learn to listen to everything around you while you're sleeping. When you hear a footstep, your eye opens up. When your cellmate moves on the bunk, or if he's on the top, the bottom, whatever, you feel the bunk move, you hear it, hey, you look up. You know, you're awake. So it's interesting, this program. It's interesting the way that he is removing the COs from the unit. He's giving the inmates the opportunity to govern themselves. With that, it becomes a problem, because there's always 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that want to be top dog. I'm gonna make the rules here. Other people see that as, yo, you're trying to be the police. And we are already at odds with the police. So if you're going to try and boss everybody, yo, keep the noise down, yo, stop running, yo, put your shirt on. Yo, you ain't the fucking police. And then it causes trouble. You know what I'm saying? But there's always somebody that thinks he's the top dog. And when you watch this program, you see there's one guy, and he definitely takes control, and he tries to take, and people are always at odds with him, and it's an interesting show. I suggest you go watch it. It's called Unlocked, a jail experiment. It's in Arkansas. The sheriff is Erik Dennis, I believe his last name is. No, Erik Higgins is his last name. He's in the Pulaski County Jail Center and Pulaski County Correctional Center in Arkansas. But it's an interesting show. You know, like I said, I've only been into a couple episodes, and I'm gonna react to them. I'll play them back and react to it, because there's some things in there, like I say, that you speak on. But check it out. Let me know what you all think. But you know what you gotta do first. Before you even think about checking that out, you gotta hit that like and subscribe button, man. What are you here for? Hit that like and subscribe. See you on the next one. It's your boy Big Will. We'll see you. Life After Prison TV. Don't forget, man, go check out my other videos. I got over 1,000 videos on a playlist. Not all jail related, but something to make you laugh at. I do a lot of reaction videos, you know, especially to crooked cops or pedophiles. I like to put them out there on blast, you know, shit like that. So go check it out. It's your boy Big Will, Life After Prison TV. We'll see you on the next one, and hey, go watch that show on Netflix. It's pretty cool.